Good day everyone, I'm Hurley Borify Reviews here, back at it again with my review for the Kefine. But this time it's the Arnar, yes, the recent IM from Kefine. Okay, but before I proceed, I'd like to address a few things. First of all, if you're hearing my voice, that is, probably it sounds like I have a cold or something like that. Yes, I do have a cold and I'm not feeling well. Second, pardon me for my nails because I really got busy lately that I haven't cut my nails yet. And at the same time, I would like to apologize to everyone, especially Kefine, since they sent this unit to me in an exchange for a very honest review. A little bit of delay than the scheduled publishing of this review, since my camera rig malfunctioned lately, like last week, and I have to get a replacement one for me to record this video and for me to proceed with this video. So there's that. Okay, now that is out of the way, I'd like to thank Efine for sending this unit to me in an exchange for a very honest and transparent review. Rest assured that all of my reviews are honest and transparent to the core, like I always do, for the benefit of everybody, of course, including me. Since again and again, I won't be editing this extensively. English isn't really my native language, and I prefer writing reviews rather than recording them. Okay? Okay. So, to give you an idea, the Kefine R&R is the latest. Yes, it is the latest Kefine IM along with the Clean SV. But this time, the Kefine R&R costs around 189 US dollars or 190 US dollars if we round things off. So, it is equivalent to, like, let's say 11 to 12,000 Philippine peso in Philippine money. Okay, so this falls within the sub 200, sub $300 IEMs that are currently in the market today. What makes this different, however, in my humble opinion, is the Kefine Arnar is a hybrid IEM, but this time it is a planar. Yes, it is a planar and ABA. Yes, a balanced armature driver when it comes to its driver configuration, hence the name, the RNR, the armature and the planar. I really love how Kefine has been doing this, doing their own naming scheme here, because it is quite witty and it is quite creative. Okay. Okay. Now, I'd like to put this here first before we proceed with the other stuff, because Kefine RNR offers you an optional, yes, this is an optional DSP plug for you to drive the RNR properly. Although, in my humble opinion, it is easy to drive for a planar, but more into that later. So basically, Kefine offers you an optional purchase for you to purchase this DSP plug for the Kefine RNR. What makes this appealing to most people, or to those practical people who are willing to shell out 189 US dollars for a dongle, or for an IEM rather, sorry. Well, this one not only has a DSP chip or a DAC, it also has an amp chip, since we'll be dealing here with a planar hybrid IEM. So Kefine did its best to optimize, and at the same time, I like how they did things here, because most of the time DSP plugs only has that DAC. It only has that DAC chip, but this time the Kefine KA2, yes, the KA2 USB-C has the Conexant 31988, and I do believe this is the Max 97220 amp chip, or probably it's a Class D amp chip. So yeah, once you purchase this, gone are the days wherein you'll be needing a dongle, or a beefy dongle, or a dongle together with you for you to play, um or for you to use planar IEMs to their maximum potential, because this one already has it. I mean, this small DSP chip, or this small DSP plug, covers pretty much everything that the RNR needs, if you're willing to purchase this DSP plug. And yeah, I am still amazed, because most of the time I bring my dongle and my huge ass DAP with me, but with this DSP plug, I can like just use the smartphone. Yes, I can just use the smartphone to my heart's content, play some Spotify or probably an Apple Music here and there, and get through the day with this DSP plug. So, nice move there, Kefine. Actually, from what I know, you're the only one. Yeah, you're currently the only one who are offering these types of configuration when it comes to DSP plugs. Okay? Anyway, let's now proceed to the packaging. So the packaging of this one, if you've encountered the Kefine Quatio, it is quite similar in that regard. It is a minimal matte finish. See, it uh, kind of hides the dirt, the dust really well. Do take note that my location here is quite dusty and a little bit dirty, but yeah, it manages to hide those dust here and there. As you can see, it is very minimal. The R&R planar driver and BA hybrid IEM, and by the way, the balance armature in this one is a Knowles. Yes, it is a Knowles balance armature driver. Okay, so as you can see, Kefine R&R, and it's pretty much basic or pretty much minimalistic in a way, which I kind of like, because at the end of the day, um the earphones or the IEMs, the headphones, what matters most, it's for you to listen to them and not to read some mind-boggling specs. But yes, of course, transparency is still one of the best suits of most brands today, including Kefine. Okay, so as you can see here, the Kefine R&R has a one planar driver and one BA. Its sensitivity, yes, its sensitivity is 107 decibels. Its impedance is 13 ohms. So the Kefine R&R is one of those handful IEMs that I have reviewed lately that has an easy to drive nature, or it is easy to drive to boot, which is a good thing, because again, most of the time, whenever that a person will be using a planar driver, he/she are always recommended to invest with a beefy DAC, like for example the X-Duo Link 2 BAL, or probably what do you call this? The FIO A13 or something like that. But this time, you kind of don't need that anymore, because the Kefine R&R, along with the other planar driver IEM that I have reviewed earlier, do not need that beefy beefy power output anymore. But of course, I like literally you can use this with a, like, let's say a Venture Electronics Devastator dongle and call it a day. Actually, it pairs well with the Devastator. But of course, if you're planning to collect an IEM, if you're planning to do an IEM collection here and there, of course, it is always a good measure for you to use a fairly powerful dongle, like for example the Snowski Melody, the Sonic Memory SA500, or probably the DD Hi-Fi TC44E3, if you're willing to shell out a 100 USD for for a dongle. Okay, so there's that. Okay, now as for the accessories and packaging, just like the Kefine Quatio that I have reviewed before, it is pretty much identical actually, and in all honesty, but in a very good way, because they are quite generous to give the user 4 sets of ear tips for you to ear tip roll, as you can see here. My personal favorite is of course the balanced looking ones. Yes, I kind of tend to name them the balanced looking ones because most IEMs today have this type of they all have this type of ear tips wherein it is transparent and it has a fairly stiff, yes, it is a fairly stiff stem, black stem usually, or probably colored to your liking. I also remember that it kind of resembles the KBO8 and KBO7 ear tips, the Acoustune ear tips, of course. So yeah, I prefer those types of ear tips, but of course, these sets of ear tips have their own literally softness and rigidness on the stem and on the material that they are utilizing. So feel free to ear tip roll however and how many times you want here with the Kefine R&R. You'll also get this one. You'll also get the interchangeable nozzles here. If we're counting the pre-installed ones, you'll be getting like 3 sets of interchangeable nozzles. They do slightly change the sound, but at the same time, it isn't like a night and day. So they Kefine did a very safe yet reliable move here. More to that later. And yes, of course, the cable here is modular. Yes, it is modular, just like if you purchase the optional DSP plug, see, it's all modular here. And you'll also get this case that you have already encountered with the Kefine Quattro if you have a Kefine Quattro with you. I do like this design because it is not your usual pancake style case, and at the same time it kind of deserves the Arnar deserves this type of case because again, we're talking a sub 200 USD IM here, not just some 100 USD that they can compromise accessories here and there. Okay, and here's the cable. Again, this is pretty much identical to the Kefine Quattro, so you'll be expecting a very robust, fairly thick, and fairly premium type of cable. I actually do never had the urge to change or to swap this cable because it does DK fine Arnar just fine. I never experienced any compromises here with this cable actually. But of course, for good measure, I always do it in 4.4 connection because again, this is modular. So feel free to your heart's content if you ever plan to cable roll with this one. I'm letting you know that this is like it is very negligible if you're looking for a sound difference between cables and such, in my humble opinion at least. And here's the IM itself. As you can see, my oh my, this has got to be one of the unique looking IMs in the market right now. I'm not sugarcoating on that one. It's just plain facts. As you can see, I like the design on this one, the faceplate specifically. The faceplate reminds me of the temples in China that I have encountered, or the buildings here in the Chinatown here in our country that I have been wandering whenever I had that leisure time with me. So I do like the design on this one. It isn't too boring, and at the same time it isn't too tacky, which is a really good thing. And about this faceplate, by the way, at first I thought this was an open back IM. I thought that the Kefine Arnar is an open back IM, but I was proven wrong by Kefine themselves by the time that I have asked them for clarification, because apparently the faceplate is just a design. It isn't open back, which I am surprised because, spoiler alert, this sounds really wide for me to think that this is an open back planar driver or planar IM. Spoiler alert on that one. Okay, and the shell, yes, the shell on this one is made of lightweight metal. Yes, you'll be expecting in full metal here. I actually got surprised, I guess, whenever I use this in our office, because our office uses a central aircon or a central type of air conditioning. So yeah, it is very cold out there in our production area or in our lobby. And the Kefine R&R also reflects that temperature whenever I use it. So yeah, if you're in a cold environment, you might find the Kefine R&R cold to touch. So there's that. Okay. Again, now as for the drivability, again, you won't be having any problems. It's either you additionally purchase this DSP plug for no fuss, straightforward, practical, economical option, or just use your existing, if you have one, an existing USB DAC with you. Okay? Okay. Now, as for the pairing, or the fit, comfort, and isolation on this one, if you had the chance to own or probably try the Letsure S12 or the S12 Pro, it pretty much falls within the same ballpark here with the Kefine Arnar. So do expect that you'll have an identical fit to those two IMs that I have mentioned, because apparently kinda they are quite identical when it comes to the shape. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so how's the sound? So what's the sound of the Kefine Arnar? Here in this case, I can confidently say that the Kefine Arnar is, in my opinion, the unexpected. Yes, because I never expected that Kefine will do a planar hybrid IEM like this, and at the same time I never expected them to fix the recurring concerns slash problems of a planar driver, because as some of you know, or probably if you're into this hobby for like 5 years now, or probably a decade like me, planar magnetic IEM suffer these planar sheen, driver timbre, driver quirks that are unavoidable for the past years. Like when I all of the planar magnetic drivers that I have reviewed, encountered, and owned at the same time for the past years exhibits that planar sheen, that driver quirk, that planar timbre, that metallic-ish, as some of people call timbre of planar magnetic drivers, that I can't recommend them to sensitive, or to those ears that are very sensitive in those types of driver quirks or boosted bright frequencies. Well, in the case of the Kefine Arnar, Kefine did its best. Yes, in my humble opinion, Kefine did its best, and it really worked here, because I can't seem to hear any planar sheen anymore here with the Kefine Arnar, up to the point that I kind of forgot that the Kefine Arnar is a planar magnetic driver for the first hour that I have blindly observed it, which is a really good thing. It is a very remarkable thing. It is one of the two recent planar IEMs that I have encountered that minimizes, or even here in the case of the Arnar, dissolves or avoided completely the planar sheen, which right out of the bat, I can recommend this to anyone with a very sensitive sets of ears to planar timbre or planar sheen or something like that. Okay, so what's the sound, or what's the sound signature of the Kefine Arnar? Well, the Kefine Arnar is a balanced, warm sounding IEM. On certain instances, certain ears, certain configurations, it may sound mildly U-shaped. It may sound mildly V-shaped. It may sound L-shaped to some people. It may sound dark to some people. And in my humble opinion, all of those stuff, or all of those remarks are pretty much correct for the most part, because it falls within the safest answer to everyone, which is it is a balanced, warm sounding IM. It is undeniably thick. The bass on this one is actually mildly elevated, but at the same time, it is a little bit mid-bass focus. So, for those people that prefer that dynamic driver type of bass, if you're coming from that, you might find the Kefine Arnar's bass response a little bit too clean. Like, let's say you're coming from a 7 hertz legato, a KB Ear, I'm not sure if it's Aurora. Yeah, the KB Ear Aurora, sure. The KB Ear Rosefinch, the KB Ear KS2, probably the Fat Freak Deuce if you have one. If you're coming from those types of IEMs, you might find the bass here with the Kefine Arnar a little bit clean, at the same time elevated and thick. So if you're looking for that vibes, I'm not sure how to explain it properly, vibey vibes. If you're looking for that dynamic driver type of bass, the Kefine Arnar does not have that. But if you're coming from a planar magnetic IEM that doesn't have any that doesn't have a bass or a thick smooth, lush bass response, while keeping the same details, texture, and overall character of the bass, well, the Kefine Arnar would be a good treat or a delight to you. Is this a bass heads IM? If you're looking for a bassy planar IM, sure, but on its own, it's not a bassy IM per se, or a bass head IM per se. It's just that it is a mildly elevated. It has that mildly elevated bass response, and at the same time, it is thick and warm. Okay, so there's that. Okay, now as for the mids on this one, in my humble opinion, it is lush. It is smooth, but at the same time, it kind of keeps the details that you are looking for in the mids, as expected from a planar magnetic driver. So do expect that Brandon Urie's usually brighter sounding vocals here sounds a little bit thicker than usual. Same goes with Ed Sheeran, same goes with Sam Smith, or any male vocal artist or male vocals that that you prefer. So do expect some added warmth, added thickness here and there going on. Now, as for the upper frequencies on this one, it is also, I wouldn't say the elevated actually, but it is present. It is as present as its lower mids. So you won't be having any problems if the vocals aren't that sparkly or anything like that. No, you won't be having any problems of that at all. Like I've said before, this doesn't have any planar sheen, any sibilance, any peaks, any harshness. Even on the nozzles here that they have included, actually, it doesn't have that, which is a really good thing. So again, if you have a very sensitive pair or a very sensitive set of ears, the Kefine R&R is definitely a safe and an enjoyable, probably, and an enjoyable experience to you. Okay, now as for the treble on this one, I'd say it is still extended. It is well extended as what you would expect from a planar. However, if we're going to nitpick, like some of the colleagues that I have let the R&R used by them for like a 15, 30 minute stops with their favorite tracks, they find, or most people will find, that the treble of the R&R isn't as energetic, especially if you're coming from a V-shaped IM or from a high D's IM, for example, which usually has a brighter, livelier treble response. Well, here in the Kefine R&R, it still extends well. It still has that air. It still has that sparkle that you are looking for a planar magnetic driver. But at the same time, it is not as energetic. It is not as lively. It is not bright when compared to those peers. But at the same time, it keeps its composure really well. It keeps the overall control, for it not to sound overboard or anything like that. Which I commend Kefine for that, because most planar sets, again, do not do that as of today. Okay? Now as for the micro details or anything like that, again, you would expect that the Kefine R&R has that very very resolving micro details or nuances. And you're correct, because again, this is a planar magnetic driver and they kinda do that. Not to mention that this also has a balanced armature driver, Knowles balanced armature driver. So yeah, do expect that the micro details on this one are quite good and very, very audible, easily audible for me. Okay? Now, as for the technical chops, again, this is the part where I got shocked, because I find that the soundstage of the Kefine R&R is so tall. In my humble opinion, it is quite tall, almost like it almost sounded like a closed back over ear headphone to my ears. Up to the point that I thought that this was an open back IM, which it isn't, which boggled me for like an hour or two, because again, the soundstage on this one is tall. It is tall, and at the same time, it is deeper than most of the planar magnetic sets that I have encountered. So yeah, you'll be expecting a spacious, wide stage here, wide tall stage here, but at the same time, it isn't as wide compared to the other planar magnetic driver that I'll be comparing it with. Although it would be a very, very hard nitpick actually, because they kind of complement each other when it comes to the collection, if you're planning to collect these planar sets. Okay, now as for the separation, layering, and imaging, all of these are precise, even on the BCS tracks that you can toss here with the R&R. You won't be having any problems here, even with the heavy passages. Like for example, um, for example, those Koshinwe, yes, Koshinwe's Asphyxia, Fear Loathing in Las Vegas, Let Me Hear, or probably some of some of Amer's tracks. You won't be having any problems here with the Kefine R&R. Okay, now I'll discuss a little bit here with these interchangeable nozzle filters. Although again, these aren't like a night and day improvement. Sorry, yeah, night and day improvement or a night and day change, they change things a little bit for you to like pick or slash mix and match on what you prefer. Okay, now when you're using this, as you can see, this black nozzle, do expect that there will be an added sub-bass response, like a noticeable chunk of sub-bass quantity here with the Kefine Arnar. So everything will get thicker. Yes, definitely everything will get thicker, and to my ears it sounded a little bit more L-shaped now because of that added bass response. But at the same time, if I were to really nitpick, the sound stage actually smallens a little bit. It got small a little bit, although it is very negligible actually for like 99% or 95% of people out there. Okay, now when you use this with the, let's see here. Now when you use this with this one, the um yeah, there we go. The gold, yes. When you use it with this one, with the gold nozzle, the upper mids actually the upper mids are actually more forward with this nozzle filter, making it a little bit U-shaped or mild U-shaped to what I prefer. So do expect that the vocals will come very forward actually, but at the same time it doesn't sound honky or um nasal or any congestion or anything like that. No, it doesn't sound like that at all. It just makes the vocals accentuate a little bit, offering those people who prefer their vocals forward, intimate or anything like that. Okay? Okay. Now, where should I compare this? In my humble opinion, I should compare this with the recent. Yes, with the recent planar dongle, planar magnetic IEM that I have reviewed recently, literally, which is the Hydis MP145 Pro. Well, when compared, the Hydis MP145 Pro actually is the complete opposite of the Kefine Arnar, because the MP145 Pro is a bright, mildly V-shaped sounding IEM. So it has let's say it has that better crisp. It has better crisp, tactility, or anything like that that you could think of. Probably like technical chops, although not by a lot when compared to the Kefine Arnar. Both of them are easy to drive as well. As for the fit, comfort, and isolation, the Arnar will fit most ears better than the MP145 Pro, because the MP145 Pro is a little bit on the bulkier side of things. As for the build quality, they are pretty much identical when it comes to the durability or anything like that. Both of them are made of metal. When it comes to the accessories, I give the Kefine Arnar a better win on this one because of the case. The case is literally better here compared to the MP145 Pro. But at the same time, I do get it because the MP145 Pro has this advocacy to conserve and to preserve whale population. So I do believe that's a domino effect on the accessories and actually the packaging of the Hydis MP145 Pro. So which is which? What is better? What is better here within these two sets? Actually, both of them really sounds good. Both of them are better. It's just that it's for you to decide, because of course not all people like a brighter sounding set. Not all people like a warmer sounding set. So pick what you prefer. Pick the least compromising IEM for you, and you'll have a really good time between these two IEMs. Do take note that the Hydis MP145 Pro costs around 200 plus ish US dollars, while the Kefine Arnar costs around 180 190 US dollars. So they are pretty much identical to each other when it comes to their respective retail price. Okay, so we can compare this with something older. Although in my humble opinion, it would be unfair, because again, the favorite planar IEM, my favorite planar IEM before was the Tangzu Zetianwu Heyday edition. Well, when compared, the Tangzu Zetianwu Heyday has a thinner. Yes, it has a more recessed mids actually when compared to the Kefine Arnar, which is, upon hearing the Arnar, it kinda make made the made the Zetianwu Heyday, in my humble opinion, quite obsolete. For me at least. Okay, I'm not hating on the Zetyan Wu Heyday because again, that is my favorite planar IM despite it not being a mid-centric, not a flat sounding IM, but that was my favorite IM. But yeah, here with the Arnar, I think the Arnar kicked the Heyday on its throne, and it replaces itself in the throne along with the MP 145 Pro, which is a really good thing, and at the same time it kind of raises the bar. Literally, it kind of raises the bar for those brands, for those companies who wants a planar set, because yeah, as of now, the MP 145 Pro and the RNR are currently the two sets that I can wholeheartedly recommend without a heartbeat, or in a heartbeat, if that's the right term. Okay, now I'll switch back to the Tagalog version of this review to do a quick rundown. Well, ayun nga, si Kefine Arnar is nasa 12,000 pesos siya na planar IM na may nulls. So, medyo kakaiba yung configuration niya. Actually, yung buong IM na to is medyo kakaiba siya than the rest of the competition, na parang naglagay siya ng sarili niyang bar. Ayun nga, naglagay siya ng sarili niyang bar, naglagay siya ng sarili niyang pamantasan kung ano dapat yung next big thing or next na planar magnetic driver IM na kasunod nitong RNR. Kasi itong RNR, na-solve niya yung problem ng mga planar drivers before. Yung mga problem ng planar drivers before is meron siyang planar timbre, may planar sheen, na sa most people nagtutunog sibilan siya, nagtutunog anong tawag dyan, nagtutunog metallic kuno. Dito, ang nakapagtataka nung una, kasi nakita mo naman, planar siya di ba? Planar driver, tas BA hybrid. So, nag-expect ako ng something bright. Kasi yung Hydis MP145 Pro is bright, and ayun, one planar magnetic driver lang siya. Itong Kefine RNR is literally the opposite nun. So, warm balance siya na malawak. Na sa sobrang lawak, for its retail price tinanong ko pa yung Kefine kung open back ba to, and sumagot sila ng hindi. Ganun ako kabambuzel nung umpisa. Okay, so yung tunog nito, yung tunog nito is parang ano naman siya, balance warm. Yun yung pinaka safest sa pretty much any configuration na gawin ko dito, kahit sa Devastator, kahit sa DD Hi-Fi, even sa Zen stock ko na andito. Yun talaga balance warm siya, pero may mga instances na nagiging mild U-shape siya, warm U-shape, may time nagiging warm V-shape, mild V-shape. So ayun, may time nagiging L-shape pa nga pag pinaresan mo na nitong black na nozzle. So ayun, ang pinaka safest is balance warm siya, na makapal. Na makapal, na banayad. At the same time, nandun pa rin yung precision, nandun pa rin yung efficiency ng planar magnetic at ng BA actually. Kasi hindi siya makalat hindi makalat yung tunog. At the same time, makapal. So, ayun, marirecommend ko ba siya sa 12K? Oo, if willing kang gumastos ng 12K para sa isang earphones or para sa isang matinong earphones, pwede kang, actually yung RNR yung pinakauna kong i-recommend sa'yo if willing ka talaga. Kasi, ayun nga, madali lang siya ma-drive. If gusto mo ng mas streamline na listening session, nagbebenta din sila ng DSP cable. Ito, kakaiba pa pala to. Itong DSP cable, or DSP plug, DSP plug ng RNR. Kasi, usually, yung mga DSP plug, DAC chip lang yung nakalagay. Ito may DAC at saka amp na, Conexant, tapos may max amp pa. So, ayun, mas streamline na. Hindi mo na need magdala ng dongle, hindi mo na need magdala ng DAP pag nasa labas ka, kung may DSP plug ka actually. And ilalagay mo na lang siya kasi modular naman tong Kefine RNR. Ayun lang naman. So, balik na ako sa English review para sa aking verdict. Okay? So, what's my verdict here with the Kefine RNR? Of course, as the Kefine RNR leaves a very, very positive note to me, without any compromises, negative thoughts, or anything of that. But I do hope that you understand that I'm not sugarcoating, or I'm not glazing the Kefine RNR, because again, I prefer mostly neutral sounding sets, and the Kefine RNR does not fit the bill because it is a balanced, warm sounding IM. But yeah, as a neutral head like me, I never expected to love the Kefine RNR and how it implements, or how it sounds different compared to the rest of the planar IEMs today, because again, it solves the recurring problem or the recurring concern of most IEMs or planar IEMs today, which is the planar sheen or the planar timbre. Sorry, the K-Fine Arnar doesn't have any of those, up to the point that I can recommend this even to those ears with sensitive sense of hearing, sensitive tolerance to sibilance or anything like that. So again, if you're willing to shell out 200 USD for a warm sounding planar IEM, planar hybrid to be specific, which is also stylish, the K-Fine Arnar would be my top choice or my top recommendation for you. Okay? And now that ends my review for the K-Fine Arnar. Again, I'd like to thank K-Fine for sending this unit to me in an exchange for a very honest and transparent review. Rest assured that all of my reviews are honest and transparent to the core, like I always do, for the benefit of everybody, of course, including me. Since again, I won't be editing this extensively. English isn't really my native language, and I prefer writing reviews rather than recording them. Okay? So as for the backlogs, I do have a set of backlogs here, although I am actually working on it and probably will post an initial impressions within this week, because again, I do have some busy things going on at the side because I do photography as well. So yeah, apparently Venture Electronics were kind and very they kind of reliable. It seems that they rely on us or rely on the page or on my work or on myself, that they have sent a ton yeah a ton of products of them. Like for example, they sent me this one, the Devastator Pro. They have also sent me this one, the Devastator Pro Max, and to my surprise, they also sent me this one, the Monk Plus 80 and the Monk Plus 120. So those are 120 and 80 ohms. And yes, spoiler alert, for the most part, I am using the Devastator Pro and the Pro Max here with the K-Fine Arnar for additional findings. And I must say, for the most part, they are very, very compelling. They are actually literally like most Venture Electronics products. They are what I'd say, it is bang for the buck, literally a bang for the buck dongle. So yeah, I'll post my initial thoughts within this week and probably a full review of these dongles next week. They also were kind enough to send this one, the adapter, or 4.4 to 3.5. They've also sent a DSP cable here, which I'll be observing next week, hopefully. And yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for observing or reading my reviews or noticing my reviews. It really helps a lot here. But I'm not forcing you to like my page or anything like that. Just read my reviews if it really helps. And please do take note that all of my reviews are, at the end of the day, still has some biases here and there. So please take my reviews with a large bucket of salt, if you may. Okay? And see you on the next one. Isa pa? Last one.